Good morning, 29th of March 21, disruption 53, COVID index. Now, how are we calculating this? It's very simple. We have how many countries have had so many deaths, so many infections, and therefore we can suggest that these countries have 0% efficiency in the management of tax, education, security, health is very obvious. Therefore, these governments are completely incompetent. They have to be fired and substituted by other countries or systems that are able to manage 100% key performance indicator. This is the famous COVID index. Sorry. We have, for example, the justice comparing Singapore and Spain. I remember when I went to Singapore in 2017, I just walked around the Justice Palace building, and there was no one around. It was noon, 12 p.m., and the sun was big, shining. I had short sleeves, and it was very, very hot and humid, and even shorts. So even though the sun was very, very strong, I was amused that there was no one around this justice building. So I said to myself, is everybody hiding from me just now? Because in the Spanish Palace of Justice, there is so many people around that really was something going on. So I thought everybody was hiding from me. So just in case that they were all hiding from me, I thought to myself, even if it is noon and the sun is shining and it's very hot and humid, and let me just have another turn to the block and find out whether it is true that they are hiding from me, because this is not normal. And so I did. And I found again no one but a police person just taking photos if someone was parking in front of the front door. And then I found out that these fines would be sent electronically. So I thought to myself, oh, well, that looks very efficient and very digital. And then after a while, I was in the plane back thinking, and months went by, and I happened to go once or twice here to they call it Palace of Justice, which is, it should be really the Palace of Injustice in Bilbao, because it's full of people. And I was just listening in the news today, 4 years later, that they are even asking to expand this Palace of Justice because they have no other place, and they have not enough place, and there's so many complaints, and there is so many trials they have, and there is so many accidents and so many bullied and bulliers, and then I thought to myself, why is this possible? And then with the COVID index, sorry, you can really find out why, because it's so inefficient. It only has a 5% efficiency here, the justice, and the justice in Singapore has 100% efficiency. One single matter that you could really compare the COVID index is the bankruptcy Chapter 11, Chapter 15, as well as they have in the USA, whereby any company can restructure and get some fat off and do it in 24 hours so that the rest of the company survive. Whilst here, you can never get that, because those involved in the restructuring are trying to steal the most possible monies from all the different suppliers and the contracts and so there's no left, there's nothing left. It is very funny if you get to watch these two films that really portray this inefficiency of the justice, called Oro and Aquelarre. And the question is that there is 3 ships going to Brazil, and then only one arrives there to get gold in Latin America, and then they travel throughout the Amazon towards Peru, just walking to find out the gold, and all of them kill each other, and only one arrives to the Peruvian Pacific coast with, of course, no gold. And this is the description. If you leave this justice, this health, if you leave this COVID index, just to be very clear into the efficiency of each country, like in Gibraltar, everybody has been, now they don't wear masks because they have all gotten the disease. Therefore, in Spain, you see only 2 million people have gotten the shot, and this is complete inefficiency. And even if they do get the shots, like in the film Oro or Gold, I recommend this that you watch, please, because it really describes very well indeed what this government does when you put in their hands the health, the education, the security, and the COVID. It's a disaster. So this COVID index disruption, it's very, very clear what is going on today. We have seen examples like Singapore, like New Zealand, Finland, Fiji, many, many countries. Israel has just put the vaccine to everybody, and it is the only way to stop this since more than 14 months ago. But they're just completely incompetent and they don't know about any maths. So the question is, why do we pay them wages if they cannot stop the COVID index? Then why don't we apply this correction to them in the tax? We have seen that North Europe is going to stop 140,000 billion to Spain. Thank you very much, because none of that money would go to the small and medium companies. No government help has gone to bar, restaurants, to small businesses. None at all, because you see, they have a GDP of about GDP debt of about 8. No, the debt is 100%, no, 112. But the question is their cost. They have 5 million people in 50,000 buildings just doing nothing. And you can imagine, if you benchmark this justice building in Singapore and the justice building here, how efficient it is in Singapore and how inefficient it is here. So you can multiply that times 50,000 buildings. So the more money you give them, the more the metastasis grows in the public expenditure. So it's about time that you all wake up and you realize this COVID GDP has to be disruption index has to be studied and looked at how much money does tax go into the right place. So if you have, let's say, 77,000 debt like in Spain, then you see that every euro that you pay in tax, about 1% goes to the doctors and nurses, and that's all. So therefore, why not just fire them all now? It is about time that you realize that you open your eyes with this COVID index. It is really a waste of money. And in Europe, I hope they understand that also there is many other areas to disrupt this COVID index, like consuls, general consuls, and I hope that you have liked this video and you start really opening your eyes regarding how much tax you spend today when you buy a car, when you buy everything, and then where it goes automatically it is here. Yes? So please think about it. Think about it. Take care. Bye.